Tucked away in central Idaho, along the Salmon River, lies a ghost town few know about. It's known as Ulyses, Idaho. Despite little remaining of the town, it's a place I've been wanting to explore for a long time. But after exploring around, I continued to follow the Salmon River, and that's when I found something unbelievable.
Right over there is Salmon River, and we're on the side of Highway 93. And check this out. I want you to stop real quick because this is known as Wagenhammer Springs. And it's the spring that comes right out of the mountain. Only water dispensed from hydrants is tested for drinking, which means this one, let's see, does it? Oh, it doesn't do it. So that's Wagenhammer Springs. This water's coming straight from the mountain. We're gonna keep going now because we're headed to a ghost town. Some huge fire came out here years ago and wiped out this whole mountain range. All the trees are dead, but the ones next to the riverside. It would appear there's not a whole lot left. But you never really know until you come out to these ghost towns to see how much there is. I see the cabin, then everything is gone. One more cabin. Further up this road and in this canyon is some old overgrown mines. Unfortunately, nothing really significant. And the milling process was further down the mountain, so nothing worthwhile. But I am at the city limit. So right about here is where the town ended, and now we're going to check out all the buildings and see what we can find. It's unfortunate that there's only a few buildings. We're going to have a look in and keep going today, but I still wanted to see this old mining town just because of the history and to see what was left. And this is one of the small log cabins. It's all overgrown now. This would have been their front entryway, just going in. One room, that was it. We're now at the center point of Ulyses. Crazy to think this whole clearing you see was filled with businesses and houses. This side as well. This is where the whole downtown area was. Now the only thing that remains is a small cabin here. Should we go inside? Let's have a look. That's pretty far gone. I'm gonna keep going anyway. Yeah, there's nothing in it. It's just wrecked. This whole town is so old. It's all just gone now. That's a neat cabin, even if it's not in the greatest condition. None of this ghost town is in good condition, you know, so it's kind of a skipped one. Nobody comes out here really, but it's still a neat area. And there's one more building we have to see before we start heading down the mountain again. Yeah, it was a small shed. Just used for storage, likely. What's up, Lee? There's ticks out here. I'm sorry you can't come out. I'm gonna jump back on the road now and keep going. This has been Ulyses. Really not much to the town. Unfortunately, everything's gone. You can kind of see the remnants of the old logs, and then the first cabin we've seen way tucked at the city limits. But it's all gone now. The mines are long gone too. Ulyses, Idaho began as a small mining town around 1901. It was formed near Indian Creek to support the nearby Kitty Burton and Ulyses mines. At its peak, the town had about 100 residents, a post office, a general store, and 2 saloons. A stamp mill was built in 1902 to process ore, but it burned down just 2 years later in 1904. Mining efforts continued on and off until about 1919. By the end of the 1920s, the town was largely abandoned. Looks like an old barn. Has the big doors on it, or maybe a workshop. Oh, old school lawnmower, that's cool. All right. I don't think this place is still in business. It used to be. Yeah, look, the payphone, the gas pumps. Old abandoned house on the other side of the Salmon River. If only we had a boat. We can't get to it. That sucks. It looks cool. See, that's that abandoned house. And as we continue, there's something really interesting straight ahead. Visit historic mine. And this is the historic mine. I just don't see it being active. Rapids, photos, cool stuff. But this is an old mine operation that apparently it's for sale. So this mine operation is known as Gruntter Mine. And from what I could see from those signs, they used to do tours out here. But then for whatever reason they stopped. And it used to be like a tourist attraction, you know. You'd come out, see the old gold mine, get your photo taken. And check this out, in front of the house itself, you have an old ore cart track. I love that. This is where you would go to get your photo taken, next to the old stamp mill. That's pretty cool. And then another ore cart track right next to it. Another ore cart. Oh, that's the mine, check it out. That's the main one. Right there's the adit. So you would go into there when it comes to the tours. I don't know if they still do it or not. I didn't see anything, so I assume this is long gone. It's just history. But they used to come out here and do tours. And then directly across is that homestead. That's so cool. Would have been one heck of a drive to get to it because there's no bridges or anything. I guess by boat at best. No freaking way, we crossed a bridge. I didn't know there was a bridge. Yo, we might get to this old freaking homestead we've seen after all. So this is a whole trail. I never would have thought. Stormy Peak Trail. And look at this, it's an old stamp mill ruins. Yeah, check that out. It's a stamp mill. That's the ruins of it, anyway. See, what we want to get to is the old mine on this side that we've seen from the road. I never thought we'd be able to get here. That's crazy. But look, there's a whole bridge that crosses the river. And now we're hiking. Unexpected, but we're gonna do it. What I love about traveling through central Idaho is everything is so incredibly scenic. Look how amazing it looks. Just along the Salmon River as we're continuing. Lee taking his water break. What's up, Lee? What you doing way down there? I checked my maps and it says that this homestead is known as Gold Hill Mine. So it's an old mine operation. And it just had a few short active years, nothing too crazy. Let's have a look. Crazy, just like 5 minutes ago, I was on the other side of this river. I had no idea that there was a bridge where I could just cross. Short hike later, you could see there's the old outhouse. It's all messed up now, falling down. It's just been on this hiking trail, which used to be the old road, and it just got washed out over the years. And then the homestead itself. Let's check this workshop out. I don't think there's anything in it. It's pretty empty, yeah. Nothing. A small cabin too, next to the main house. That's a neat fridge. Look how that old... I like seeing that boot though. Oh, there's a couple boots actually, even down below. Going inside of the pantry. Chicken noodle Campbell's. That's an old box. What do you think the age of that box is? Let me know. See, this is really what's most interesting, is the house itself. which we're gonna check out right now. I'm not going in, no freaking way. Oh wow, there's a mudslide that came through. But this was the kitchen, and then had the stovetop. That is crazy, but this mudslide swept through, and half of it's in the ground now. These windows are still intact. No vandals that come out here because it's a hike, or you either take a boat. They got it locked up, look at that. Still got the lock on it. But this hiking trail goes right through the old cabin. We could peek through the window, right? Oh my gosh. That's actually crazy. So there's even the bunk bed. The old bunk bed, it was a children's bunk bed, so this was a family that lived out here. It's all gone. This window's all intact. Even has the curtains on it. Wow. So this whole mountainside over here, I'm guessing in this washout, some bad storm came through and then caused all of it to just erode into this cabin. And that's why the mud's there. We're gonna continue hiking this trail now because there's another mine I want to see right up ahead that I didn't know about until I was just checking my maps just now. So let's go. It's a super overgrown trail. I bet you 99% of the people who come out to these old mine operations, they're on a boat. Nobody hikes it like we are right now. It is definitely not too maintained. This is my map, and what we looked at was Gold Hill Mine, and what we're headed to now is Copper Bullion Mine. The trail just keeps getting steeper and thinner as we continue to head to this mine. We're now at Clipper Bullion Mine. And it's just unbelievable. I was just on the other side of this river thinking, man, I wish I could see those old mines. I didn't know there was a hiking trail. Now, a lot of it's just ruins. There's the stamp mill. That's really what caught my eye when I was driving by, was the stamp mill. That's cool. And then this is a whole tramway system. So they had two of them, one for ore carts going up and then one for them going down. Now the mine itself is way up this mountain. It's all burnt up and gone. But that was the tramway system right there with that winch cable. And then this is the whole production area. Coming up to the stamp mill. It's in decent condition. It's actually pretty cool to see. I don't see too many stamp mills. Fraser and Chalmers, Chicago, Illinois. What's really cool is I've never seen an ore bucket out in the wild like this. I've seen it in Bannock, in the place we just drove by too, that old mine operation, but never at a truly abandoned spot like this. But that's what would sit along this tramway to bring the material down. There'd probably have 4 of them. Then the ore bucket would open and close like that. It was on these hinges. Unfortunately, it doesn't do it anymore. Oh, that's interesting. It's a patch. It's like a rug type of material that they patched it with. Aside from the stamp mill, the ore bucket, and this tramway, there's one other thing to check out. There's an old building, so we're gonna see it. Keep in mind, much like the other operation we looked at, this one was really small, so all they had was this one bunkhouse. It would have been a pantry. This was a small pantry. And then looking over is the bunkhouse itself. The metal bed frame etched in like a flower vase. The old spring mattresses just stacked up on top of one another. That looks like the end of the operation. Nothing else that way, it's just the ruins scattered. The old wall falling down. And we're hiking back up this zigzag trail that goes way up the mountainside and continues. It's only about 2.5 miles, so not too bad. This is just how the trail's been. Nobody ever takes it, so it's super washed out.
We got a pretty good camping ground. You could see all around me, it's just middle of absolute nowhere. And it's now 8 o'clock, and I filmed those stuff we seen a couple hours ago. Then it started thundering. I took a nap into Suzuki. Pretty nice camping spot, right? Got the river beside me. I don't know what river this is, but it connects to Salmon River. I appreciate you guys staying tuned to the end. Put a like, comment down below, subscribe. We're just getting started.